What's up, party people? I'm here on the east side of my garden, which is a hedgerow. So we'll talk about this space at a later date, but for now we're going to talk about the hedgerow. In here I have some lamb's ear, good medicinal. If we have a toilet paper shortage again, I'm all set. There's some hairy vetch growing in here, and since it's a spring ephemeral, I'm just gonna let it die back naturally and contribute nitrogen to the soil. This is a native of North Carolina beautyberry. This has beautiful purple, magenta, showy berries in the fall, and it's a shrub. It can get quite large, so I'm gonna probably have to keep it trimmed. Well, I'm definitely gonna have to keep it trimmed over here. Next up I have this is a Thornless Blackberry. Who knows what variety, but you can see it's starting to get ready to flower. And this blackberry has been in existence for a couple of years now, so I'm not too stressed about it. Very prolific. And this is the new trellis that I installed today. So I was having a hard time figuring out what to do with the wire. I've never worked with wire, galvanized wire before, so it was a bit of a struggle. It's definitely not professional quality. It's definitely going to sag, but as long as it keeps the berries upright, I'll be okay. So this is kind of my joint here. I went around twice on each of them. And again, there's definitely some slack, like 100% some slack, but hopefully the weight of the vines is not going to pull it down. I have them in between the notches, so I'm hoping the notches and the tightness of the wraparounds will be enough to keep it. If not, I'll have to rethink it next year, but these vines had gotten quite large last year, long I should say. And so I have blackberries in here. I think this is a boysenberry. And then, no, this is the boysenberry here, which I don't think is doing that well. Well, it rooted itself in here. And then this I think might be a raspberry. I don't keep track of anything, like I tell everybody. Like, there's some comfrey in the back. I just kind of let stuff do what it may, and then when it comes time to blossom and fruit, that's when I'll figure out what it is. This I know is a witch hazel. I'm excited because this witch hazel was struggling for a couple of years, so it looks like this year it's finally coming into its own. I think it had like 8 leaves the first year. So it's nice to see like lots of leaf buds on here. Some more comfrey, again, chop and drop, dynamic accumulator. Need to put some more mulch in here because they're getting some crabgrass action, but I'm hoping that when things start to fill in, it will crowd out the crabgrass, and we get some violets too from the shade. So again, I'm not worried about that stuff. The stuff from the brassica nursery bed is probably going to come in here, so there's going to be some stuff crowding out the rhizomus weeds, hopefully. Let me back up so you can see. So here we have another, this is a raspberry, it's probably a Dorman red. And I trained it all the top the trellis. Now I know that raspberries are supposed to get like, there's primal canes and there's other canes and, you know, all kinds of canes. I don't know anything about it yet. This is only the second year, so I really was trying to get the roots to grow, get some vigor, get this fence installed, and then after they fruit and die back this year, I'll have a better idea of what I need to do for next year. So if you guys want to shoot me some tips in the comments, please do. Back here we have a Chickasaw Plum. This is a native plum to North Carolina. It's good for deer fodder, which hopefully we don't have deer in our suburban neighborhood too much. I know they do come from time to time, but I think there's another one somewhere around here. Again, I don't know what I plant, and I don't know what survives. Everything will just keep growing. If it dies, it dies. If it grows, it grows. I'll figure it out. Another raspberry. Here's my elderberry. It's gotten quite large. Again, this is only its second year in the ground, so I'm just letting it grow, and I'll start dealing with shaping and pruning and that kind of thing next year, but I really just wanted it to get established and see what its natural growth habit was. Hoping to get some blooms this year. This one did not bloom last year. The other one I had 2 blooms, and neither of the blooms produced berries, so it was a little disappointing. But again, they're pretty young and they grow pretty fast, so hoping to get some bloom set this year and fruit. Here's another raspberry. This one might be a golden Ann golden, something like this. And you'll see the elderberry is already trying to colonize this area, and there's some native mint in here, which smells delicious. I wish we had smell-o-vision. It smells so good. Even through the COVID, I can smell it. That's a Hawthorn again, or a mayhaw. It's another native to North Carolina. I kind of like it because it has lots of thorns on it, and it's in a critical area where we don't have a fence in the backyard, so I'm hoping it'll grow into some thorny thicket. And again, these raspberries have thorns, so not going to be 100% protection from burglars, but it'll definitely make it inhospitable for people and things to come. Here's an example of how this raspberry just wants to grow. So it grows from both ends, so you can just literally like lay it on the ground, cover it with some soil, and it will just grow in every direction. They're so crazy. I'm gonna come through the gate here, and this thing is pretty cool. This is a spiral cattle panel connector, and it makes a cool gate on the trellis. Some Swiss chard. This is its second year, so I'm just letting it go. It has not bloomed yet, so I'm gonna collect some seeds from it if it bolts this year. I didn't know Swiss chard was biennial, so I thought it was an annual, but we'll see. Some more comfrey. And then behind here we have a cutleaf. No, I'm gonna plant a cutleaf coneflower. And then there's also a cup plant, which is a native. I think the cup plant is right there. Let's see, can you see it? With those leaves that are right in the center there. There's my finger, there we go. That's a cup plant. And the cool thing about cup plants is that obviously they're called cup plants because they collect water like a cup for insects and birds. So in the morning it'll collect the dewdrops, and there'll be like little pockets of water. Blueberry, which is not happy here, but again, everything's pretty new. Another blueberry, the little mini asparagus forest. So this is second year, so I have not harvested. I'm just letting it grow out and get established. And then some strawberries that someone gave me. I literally just planted them a week ago or 2 weeks ago, so we'll see how those do. There was a rhubarb in this area, but I think it died. Rhubarb is notorious for not growing in our area because of the heat. So a little bit sad about that, but I'm trying to get this bed established with all kinds of berries, and it's gonna be like a thicket / hedgerow. So that's pretty much it. If you guys have any ideas of other plants that you think would be great companion plants, or hedgerows that you've installed in your property, let me know about it. Thanks.